Welcome to the Path to Better A1C podcast, where we uncover the secrets of balancing blood sugar, lowering your A1C, prevent diabetes, and creating a sustainable, healthy lifestyle, all without feeling deprived. I am Jenny Pena, your host. I am a national board certified health and wellness coach, a diabetes prevention lifestyle coach, and if you're looking for real practical strategies to take control of your health, you're in the right place. Now, before you dive in, I want to invite you to the next free live workshop that I have scheduled for Monday, March 17th at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's called the 3-Step Guide to Mastering Your Blood Sugar. Now, I will be walking you through how to plan meals, what to do to keep your blood sugar balance, and I'm actually going to cover a few of the major mistakes that I see my clients when they're trying to actually balance their A1C and it actually backfires on them. So, it's going to be an amazing workshop. Space is limited, so grab your spot. The link to register is going to be in the show notes. Now, let's get started in today's episode, which is going to talk about the hidden sugar in our foods. You know that sometimes we have to, as health coaches and nutritionists and people that work in health and wellness, we have to teach a lot of the clients how to read the labels, what to look in the labels, because sugar is hidden in so many different things and you are not aware. If you're not paying attention and looking at these details, you may be thinking that you're grabbing very great, healthier options, and yet they have those sugar ingredients sneaking in. And we're going to go over that so that we can start changing that. Now, when you think of sugar, you usually think of the culprits like cookies, soda, candy, right? But do you know that these sugar can be hiding in spaces that you do not even expect? Even in those so-called healthy foods, everyday pantry staples, sugar is just sneaking into our diets in ways that is going to surprise you. Now let's break it down. Some of the common sources of hidden sugars: breakfast cereals, granola, and oatmeal. Please look at those labels. Even the healthy ones can have just as much sugar as a candy bar, especially the breakfast cereals. So be mindful of that. Pay attention to those things. Breads, even organic or whole grain options, a lot of them contain added sugar, and they do it to improve texture and improve flavor. The other things are canned fruits, jams, preserves. You would think that if it's fruit and if it's yam, that they shouldn't have any added sugar, but a lot of them do. Um, Watch for those that have added sweeteners or syrups. If you get these canned fruits, make sure they're in their natural juice just to avoid having that added sugar in them. Now, condiments like ketchup, barbecue sauce. Trust me, if you don't pay attention, a lot of them have sugar, high fructose corn syrup, and other ingredients in there. Also, the flavored yogurts and instant oatmeal. Yogurt is such a great source of protein, but I tell my clients, please make sure that you check that it doesn't have any added sugar. I actually prefer that you get the plain yogurt and you add your own fruit for sweets, and instead of getting something that is already flavored, because most of them have a lot of added sugar. The other thing is fruit juice. A lot of these fruit juices, which for pre-diabetes and diabetes, I actually discourage my clients. I consider it almost a treat. But again, try to make sure that it has a no added sugar, that at least the sugars that the juice has comes naturally from the fruit that they're coming from. Salad dressings and sauces. This is another thing. I try to teach my clients to either look at the labels carefully or make your own sauces. You're able to control a lot of the ingredients and it's going to be a lot healthier. And to be quite honest, it's going to taste a lot better. So if you have the time to make your own salad dressings, that is great. Another culprit, the sodas and the energy drinks. Some of these energy drinks have a combination of caffeine and added sugar. It's just not good for your body. It creates a spike. Please pay attention to that. Instead, use sparkling water. Add some fruit to do a little bit of infusion in there. Instead of energy drinks, what about a protein drink? And even the protein shakes and protein bars and all of these things, you also have to look at the labels. um, Milk and coffee creamers. And I am guilty of doing that in the past. And if you have heard some of my episodes, you will hear the story that I had about how my breakfast was and how I was drinking my calories and sugar every morning without any protein whatsoever. And that's how I ended up with prediabetes. So the milk and the coffee creamers, see other ways of swapping that you can still enjoy your drink without this added sugar. Now, after going over all of these things, you may be asking, why is sugar added to so many foods? Well, manufacturers add sugar not just for sweetness, but sometimes they do it to preserve, for flavor enhancement, for texture. Um, Even foods that taste savory, like pasta sauce and bread, they can actually contain added sugar. And that is also created to balance acidity and improve the shelf life. So, this is another reason why you want to incorporate foods that are the least processed. The least amount of processing, the better. Now, here is another tricky part about it, that sugar goes by many names. So sometimes you look at the label and you look at the ingredients and you're thinking, oh, I don't see sugar listed. Well, there are other things listed for it. Sugars can be cane sugar, confectioner sugar, turbinado sugar. Syrups can actually be rice syrup, corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup, molasses, caramel, juice concentrate. Even fruit juice can be an added sugar. Honey, agave. They're natural, but they're still sugar. Anything ending in O's. Glucose, fructose, maltose, dextrose, lactose, sucrose. They're all sugars. So you see how complex this is? Now that you know a little bit, I'm going to give you a homework that when you go to the supermarket, look at the items that I mentioned. Go to your pantry, look at the sauces, look at the dressings, and see if you can identify any of these ingredients that I just shared. And next time you purchase something, look at that and pay attention and try to see if you can find the choice that doesn't have all these added sugars. But how can you cut back on these hidden sugars? Now that you know where the sugar is hiding and how it has multiple names, let's talk about what you can do about it, right? The first thing, read your labels, read your food labels. Look at the total sugars and the added sugars. Check the ingredient list. And remember, one thing is the nutritional portion and the other thing is the ingredients. If sugar or any of the aliases is one of the first ingredients, you already know that this food is actually sugar heavy food. Typically, the ingredients, when you go to the ingredients section in the label, is listed from the ingredient that contains the most, that is in that product, the most to the least. So if sugar is one of those first, it means this product has a lot of sugar. Now, while you can choose some that are sugar-free or low sugar options, I want you to also do that in moderation. Be mindful of artificial sweeteners. I know that for pre-diabetics and diabetics, sometimes you rely a lot on these things. And I personally would rather have you use natural sugars instead. just because of a lot of theories behind the artificial sweeteners. And I feel that they're so sweet for your palate that it is almost not training your body to not look for that flavor profile. But that's just my opinion. Opt for whole foods. Again, the least processed, less likelihood of you having these added sugars incorporated. Fresh fruits, vegetables, unprocessed options, right? They're naturally lower in sugar. So prefer those. Choose unsweetened drinks, right? Water, herbal teas, black coffee. I personally believe if you get really good quality coffee that has the type of flavoring notes that you like, will actually help you enjoy the coffee without having to add a lot of things. So sometimes it's worth to spend a little bit more on quality coffee and have a better flavor, and then you don't have to adorn that drink with a bunch of sugary creamers and syrups. And make simple swaps. That's like another thing that you could do. And I mentioned that before. Using plain yogurt with fresh fruits instead of the flavored yogurt. I know that there is a lot of preferences of grabbing and going, but this is something worth your time. Um, Choose whole fruit over fruit juice, and also look at the nut butters. Another thing that is amazing is the amount of peanut butter, almond butter that actually have added sugar and honey in it. So pay attention to that. Now, we already went through names of the sugars. We went through some items that typically have these added sugars and what to do instead. Now, you may be asking yourself, how much sugar is too much? And this is another thing that some of my clients typically ask. The World Health Organization recommends that less than 10% of your calories come from added sugars. Now, if you go to the American Heart Association, they actually suggest 25 grams total for women and children. And that is like no more than 6 teaspoons, not tablespoons, teaspoons a day of added sugar. For men, no more than 9 teaspoons, which is 36 grams of added sugar a day. Now, let's put this into perspective. A single can of soda, one can of soda, has 39 grams of sugar. That's more than the recommended daily intake for both men and women. So take that into perspective. Start looking at these things that have that added sugar and be mindful of that. Are you actually going over those 25 grams that is suggested? Now, again, I'm talking about all of these things, and I am a strong advocate of balance, moderation, and not restrictive diets. That's actually how I designed my signature program, the A1C Reset Protocol. That's how I teach my clients. That's how I get my clients to lower their A1C and lose weight and balance their blood sugar and avoid those spikes and crashes. Moderation. So I am not saying that you have to eliminate sugar completely or you can never ever eat a cookie or something like that, right? The goal is for you to be aware of these things. Make the most intelligent decision when you go to the supermarket and you're getting your items, and avoid these things. And when you enjoy something that has sugar, do it mindfully. I always tell my clients, even if you go to a restaurant and you're going to have a treat, do it mindfully. Enjoy every bite. Eat slow. I teach them the 3-bite rule, that I tell them, have 3 bites of that amazing dessert. Drink some water and wait 5-10 minutes. If you still want some, have another 3 bites. And I can tell you, most of them, that's all they need to feel satisfied, not feel deprived, and limit and balance their added sugar intake. So the goal is awareness and balance. So if you love a little sweetness in your coffee or enjoyed your dessert, that's okay. The key is making that moderation, making informed choices, and prioritizing the things that you should include in your diet. You should include fiber sources. You should include fruits and vegetables. You should include protein. So, if you're looking for practical ways to balance your blood sugar while still enjoying delicious food without having to swear off carbs from your diet, you don't want to miss my free live workshop that I have coming on Monday, March 17th at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. I am going to be teaching you simple things that you can do. You're going to end up with a clear idea as to things, actionable steps that you can take that you're going to see results right away, and you can enjoy the flavors that you love and making smart choices about your health. Registration link is going to be in the show notes. Space is limited. Don't wait for the last minute. Just do it now. And this is for today's episode. I hope you found this deep dive into hidden sugars helpful. And if you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment, share with a friend, subscribe, leave a review. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. And let's raise the awareness about all these things. This is not only about A1C levels and preventing diabetes, but overall health. Until next time, take care. Have an amazing rest of your week.